everybody.
Yeah, look what arrived here. Finally.
Oh yeah,
You gotta
I could hear you, Griff, but people in the call didn't hear you.
Yeah.
make sure to do a brag to Livia. She officially gave up on hers.
Let's
Maybe
wait.
maybe it'll be hope. Maybe you'll bring her hope if you tell her that you got your swag.
Are there problems receiving it? I got mine also a short time ago.
Vitor's in Brazil. It's just
Ah,
a different game.
okay.
But Fabio got his as well.
I don't know.
All right, let's get started. So, intro question for the day. This is my first time running the call. I'm not sure what the bounds of the intro question are, but I'm curious to hear what everybody's favorite genre of video game is to play. Okay. So I'll start. I really like 4X strategy games like Civilization, and I will pass it to Chewy.
Thanks, Bradley. I like I don't know. I like first person shooters. Like I don't know, but I'm more old school. Like Half Life and I love those video games. And uh, I also enjoyed a lot of Metal Gear. I just can't remember the specific name of the like stealth mode or yeah, like about like non confrontational mode. I can remember what the name was. And um, yeah, intentions, sync, and no distractions. I'll pass it to Sem.
My favorite games are the puzzle games. I think that the one of the best games I played is Portal. Maybe some of you know it. I even had a tattoo of Portal. It's the cube. And intentions for the call. Well, I guess that we have to talk about the hatch rehearsal, the new hatch rehearsal that we are having now, and the rest probably are already in the in the agenda. So I will pass it to Vitor.
Yeah, I like action RPG games that are really hard and you try to do and you cannot save it, like Demon Souls, Dark Souls. They're nice. And yeah, intentions for the call to sync up with you guys and see what needs to be done. And I'll pass to Megan.
Yeah, my genre would be like I was pretty much into RPGs before. Now, went a bit the route of tactics, like turn-based tactics games. And the last game of those that I really liked was Into the Breach. And yeah, lately I play like stuff where I like the art direction, like Hades, for example, which is some action roguelike, which is really I can recommend. And yeah, uh, intentions mainly just sync and yeah, that's it. And I'll pass it to Pavel.
Um, do you guys do you hear me like good? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the games I enjoy the most is like point and click, old school point and click games, like adventure with puzzles and with nice story, and you can like uh, keep it like slow and calm and I don't know intentions syncing pretty much it. Pass it to Paulo.
Hi everyone. Favorite games? My favorite game genre is RPG games, especially the ones from Bethesda, like Fallout or the Elder Scrolls, of course. Oblivion, it's a classic. Yeah, my intentions for this week, it's telling you a bit about the work that we've been doing here at the Give It House and the progress regarding the EVM scripter or EVM CRISPR, and distractions, none at all. So I'll pass it to, distractions, I have to go like in 20 minutes, only that, but apart from that, nothing else. I'll pass it to Grad.
Hey, so my favorite games are third-person shooters. I realize they're addictive, and I like to be addicted to them. But in terms of intentions, I was actually invited here by Monstrosity over from Harvest. So I'm trying to understand the nature of the community and get to know you guys and hopefully be able to contribute in the future.
Who will you pass you? Who will you pass it to?
I'll take it. I haven't gone yet. I'll take it.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We usually have this culture of passing. So otherwise, who knows when to talk, man? These calls are tough. Man, I don't know. I don't play video games, honestly. I was thinking like, man, what are the last games I played? NK.me. I don't know if you've ever seen those games. Are amazing. You can go to I think it's called NK.me, but it's like Nick. I think their name is Nick Casey, and they have like the trust game and polygons and some interesting, like, they're more like make you think behavioral economics games. They're barely video games. Otherwise, I'm going back to like Sega Genesis, just Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario and these games. Grand Theft Auto, played that back in the day. Road Rash, but like these are like from grade school, you know. So yeah, and intentions for the call. Very excited for Bradley to be taking the role of like facilitating this call. That's just super cool. I don't think we have much to talk about besides the hatch. I just really want us to make sure that we're ready for hatch and figure out anything that's blocking us and make sure to like squash it and prioritize it and figure out exactly how and when we're going to get it done. It looks like the hatch is probably going to be moved back to the 13th. But that's going to be a more solid date. So, yeah. And I'll pass it.
Why is that? Can you explain, please?
More time for praise voting, and well, more time for praise voting, and then if the praise vote is like launching on a Friday or a weekend isn't really like great for comms. Is what at least I don't think it's the best. And then launching on a Monday feels a little bit stressful too. So Tuesday just felt like a easier day.
Okay. It's more time for us also to review.
No, it's not. It's not more time. Let's finish it. Let's pretend we're launching on Friday.
No, yeah. I will update later.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't want us to be like, there's only I think SoftGov, Comms, and us are the three blockers. So I want to beat all three of the other two to be ready. I hope. And Zeptimus, did you go?
No, thank you, Griff. Yeah, I like competitive games, but my favorites are MOBAs. And yeah, intentions for the call, just to sync up and no distractions. I'll pass it to Toye Nekan.
Hey, Nikan, are you there? All right, maybe not. Let's move on. Thanks, everybody. I got some good recommendations. Griff, I remember this Evolution of Trust game from Encase, and actually I shared this with all my friends like 4 years ago. Blew all of our minds. Yeah.
And there's so many others on there. So many. They're all great.
Awesome. Thanks.
Polygons is especially great.
Okay. Sweet. All right. So back to the topics. So on Thursday, we had a planning meeting with a few of us, and we went over some of the important dates coming up. So just so everybody is on the same page, we've got the hatch coming up starting, sounds like, I guess, a few days later. And then there will be about 30 days. Where does my note? Here we go. 30 days of incubation on the hatch. And then a couple, 2 to 4 weeks of debate about parameters for it. And so we want to make sure that everything we're working on is ready and live by the time that those parameters are locked in. So we have about 6 to 8 weeks before we need to have everything fully rehearsed and ready to go live. So do we need to first start with an update about why the date moves back, or do we already covered that thoroughly?
Does anyone have a question on that? Or want me to repeat something?
I am not understanding regarding which date.
The hatch date?
It's going to be on 3rd right now, right?
13th.
13th. Sorry, yeah. No,
8 days from now.
I am reading it, but yeah.
All right. So
just regarding the amount of dates, the amount of days, I thought it was 28 days.
30.
Is it 30?
Simple numbers had 30.
All right. So in our call, we highlighted 6 aspects or 6 different pieces of the project that need to be complete on time. So we've got augmented bonding curve, gardens, migration tools, EVM scripter, and TEC convert, and the config dashboard. And I'm curious. I think we should just do a status update, run through each of these, and particularly highlight any blockers that are out there right now.
Is the augmented bonding curve the smart contracts and the TEC convert the front end?
Yes, that's how. Yes, the TEC convert is the front end. Yeah.
I will say that the augmented bonding curve should be audited.
Should be up.
We probably will end up having an int there before it's audited instead of a uint in the virtual balance and virtual supply. I hope that it's not needed never, but in case it's needed, we will have it there. And we are looking for somebody who can audit it. It cannot be me or Will Griff because we have been involved in developing it. So the list of people who will be able to audit it. Actually, I will not be able to audit it either, but the list is not so high, so big. But we are in the point that we can already handle. Maybe we should write a forum, right? That was one of the things that were needed in order to handle it for people.
Yeah.
This was one of the things that we said.
Do you think Fabri would be interested?
Let's ask him. I think that he's the one of the best options.
I don't know Fabri at all, but I can still ask him unless you think someone else is better to ask him.
I can ask him too.
And obviously we have the funds to pay him, right?
Well, actually, we are burning our honey so hard. we have to take care now about what we are working on. This last week, only working Paulo and me, we have spent 7.5 honey. So we will now 23.5 honey, 22.5 honey, and the honey is it's solo right now. So
Well, do you think we could make maybe we can make a form proposal once we find the auditor? Maybe we can make a conviction voting proposal to pay for that audit.
I don't think so, because I would prefer paying with the honey in the vault. We said we specifically said that we would finish the work on TC with the funds that we got, and even if honey went to a very low number, so we cannot ask for anything again. So I would suggest to do a bounty of 10 honey. I don't know if it's going to be enough. 10 honey. And the rest is going to be used for the... I don't know, guys. We are a little bit out of... I don't know how to say that. It's... how is it usually said that when we don't have so much money right now, so we have to be taking a lot of care of what we are spending.
Thrifty, maybe.
Also, impact hours are not going to be an option anymore, so it's the worst of the both worlds.
There'll be an option, but not one that I would recommend people take.
The impact hours count until the hatch, so we are launching the hatch next week. It's not going to be an option.
Well, there will still be praise and source cred, and they will still, and they just won't be rewarded. They'll be rewarded with XDAI or TEC tokens, but it's unclear exactly how it's going to happen. But there will still be praise and praise quants. Well, we're probably going to stop doing the praise quants during the hatch, and work on just re-engineering the praise system and how we quantify, and then while we're integrating source cred, and then post hatch start doing praise quants again. So it's still an option, but it's not one I would suggest people take as opposed to salaries. That's for sure.
Okay, the problem is that here we have people who until now they were getting impact hours, and from now on it's unclear how it's going to be, and also we need to finish it, and we are scoping like 2 months of work. I would prefer to make just 1 month until in Paris. We are not going to work on that. Most of it should be done before Paris, and then after Paris test let's say that the big part of the work should be done before Paris, and after Paris we do the test rehearsals and everything that it needs to be done for launching. But we were talking, Paula and me, just before about how we distribute this work, and we are not going to be together after Paris, and actually we will take 15 days of vacation. So we have to rise now before Paris, and after Paris come back and do all the things that are needed for the launch. but it must be done like as soon as possible. So probably we are not going to take too much time to finish this kind of things. I guess that we have enough money in order to finish it, but the audit or the review cannot be that much.
So we have, I see, it says we have 62 honey.
We had, but now we will have 22.5.
Oh, because we're making a big payment today?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say that we should request more funds. I think people want us to finish this work.
Do you remember? Maybe it's not a discussion to have right now, but
Yeah.
that's not really a good option because we specifically say that we will finish that.
Okay, we can
With
talk
the
about
funds
it.
that take it.
Let's talk about it off this call, and then you're upstairs. We can chat later.
Yeah, but specifically we say that we will finish this with the funds that we were granted, because if you remember, there was that discussion that you should transform honey into XDAI, and we said no, we want to keep the honey and pay as we are going, and we are in this point in which we didn't do what they said because we wanted to do it our way. Now we have to assume the consequences of doing it our way, and it didn't go.
We
it
will
didn't go
have to
that
talk
bad.
about this. We'll just have to talk about this outside. No, I'm just kidding. But I think this, Sam, you and I need to have a longer discussion about this. So can we table it and talk, continue on with the updates?
Okay.
Can I just mention quickly, if we want to get all the technical work done before Paris, that leaves really just 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now is the 19th, and then I'm sure people will be traveling that week. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Also, I don't know if this is an option, but we are just to remind you guys, like we are, especially those of you in Barcelona that got your tickets like on the 3rd, 20th. We're gonna have like the apartments available, a working space. So those days are like any good for you guys to finish or advances. Yeah, you could have those like 24th through the 28th you leave. So just if that's good for Paris.
All right. Let's keep moving on the updates. So got a couple notes, particularly the audit for the augmented bonding curve is an issue to keep an eye on. How about some of the rest of these? What my notes from last Thursday say Gardens is pretty well battle tested. Do we need to keep moving anything forward on Gardens itself?
Excuse me, can you repeat? I didn't understand very much.
So my notes from Thursday say that the Gardens is pretty well. I wrote it's well battle tested. Do we need to make any more changes to the Gardens?
There is one change that Paulo has in his list, and I think that anything else will be scope creep. This is something. This is a word that I learned yesterday.
Great. And the migration tools?
It is Paulo. Regarding the migration tools, migration tools is finished. The only thing that we have to do is to add into the upgrade script a line that makes the creation of the new boats dependent on the migration tools.
Okay. And EVM scripter.
EVM scripter, Paulo can talk about that.
Yes. This last week I've been working on finishing the remaining operations that the library is going to display, such as the adding, removing, and granting permissions. Also, I was improving and updating the way we store things inside the library, the cache logic, and it's almost ready. I was working on the remaining details this last day, and I hope to have it for tomorrow or so. So maybe a good way to show the library is doing the commons upgrade vote. And yeah, so it's almost ready. And yeah.
Well, he is actually being so modest. The library is doing what it has to do, and during the last 1 or 2 days, he has just been improving, like error handling and this should be nicer and these kind of things. But the library could already be used in order to create the EVM script for the commons upgrade. And actually, it's something that we have to do once we have our gardens working with TDC. So I guess that this week is what we should be doing. Create a gardens on Rinkevi for TDC and upgrade it into a commons.
Right. Status updates just on these last two things. TEC convert.
Mm-hmm. TEC convert doesn't need any more change. I mean, the changes that it needs, they are aesthetic, and the stats page that I guess that it will be very interesting. We could have 3 versions of the stats page, and the thing is that it could be nice to have if we have time.
Okay. And the config dashboard.
Config dashboard is going quickly. There's a lot of movement there. I don't know that it's so well. I mean, most of the team is here, I guess. The Vitor has been hacking on Python. Marco's got the designs going. I'd say we're on a roll.
Yeah, things are moving well.
We had a nice Sunday hack session, and we'll have a Tuesday call.
Nice. Okay.
If anyone wants to go to those calls, they're in the TEC Discord at 8 a.m. At some time zone. I don't remember. I've changed a lot of time zones for this call. Vitor, do you know what time that call's at?
It is the same of the command simulator.
Yeah, 5 p.m.
Yeah,
CT.
5 p.m. Thank you, Zeb.
5 p.m. Which time?
Europe time.
Okay. Okay, so I had patch rehearsal on the agenda, but I think maybe we should just talk about focus on creating a gardens on Rinkeby and upgrading that to a commons.
Actually, but the other thing that we have for this week is the review everything with Adriana, who has been auditing smart contracts, and I have a meeting with him tomorrow, and I already have everything that let's say everything. I just need to check one more thing, but I can also show my screen and share it with you. Let me see. So this is the forum post that I will publish today. I would like if you can check it out before I publish it, but I think that it is complete. So we had this Hatch first rehearsal with 31 contributions, and it was a little bit of a mess because of a misconfiguration in one parameter. So no smart contracts were involved. It was just a parameter that was not well formatted. So we had these 31 contributions and raised around 1 million TDI. 2% went to the non-redeemable vault, and the rest went to the redeemable vault. So you can also see the Hatch close transaction in order in which you see that the TDI go to one and the other vaults. When this test tech was minted for each TDI, so we also had 1 million test tech for the bakers. And here is where it comes to the impact hours. We had a max impact hour rate of 226 and a rate in the target goal of 77. The target goal was 3 million, and the impact hours at the moment were, at the moment of creation of the first hatch, was 8,000 something. So the problem came when we had this very small number here as a calculation between target goal and the impact hour rate at target goal. We did a miscalculation here, so it's very close to 0. And because it's very close to 0, we had here all of these were close to 1. So what does it mean is that whatever the raise was, we had the maximum raise. So the impact hour rate for everyone was 226 TDI per hour. Of course, this created a lot of test tech, like around 2 million test tech, and which means that the cultural tribute was 64%. It was a bit of a failure, let's say. Well, not a bit. It was kind of a disaster. I have to be honest. Pablo is laughing. Yeah, this is something that should not happen. In that case, it is something that we could have prevented. Let's say that, well, Griff was saying that people in the hatch had this in non-transferable tokens, and also they could have voted to fix this problem. I am not that sure that. I think that it's one of the big problems that we have had, but in the new hatch rehearsal, it's already solved, and after all the, I mean, I cannot excuse it. This is a problem that we had, but now it has been solved, and the new hatch is already fixed. But by the way, these are the numbers that should have been obtained from it. It was only 22% of cultural tribute, and the tokens that should have been minted are around 300k. So the rage quitting numbers, we had some people who had redeemed. There was a lot of redeemers actually, like 400k of tokens that were redeemed. So we ended up with 2.5 million of test tech when the migration was done. And well, probably if we had had much less tokens, it would have been much less. And the command upgrade.
A lot of
Yeah.
rage quitters because the thing was broken and they got extra money, so they rage quit ASAP.
Let's say that, yeah.
Before the
thing
fix.
is, the thing is that nobody was counting on that until Griff. So why do we have almost 3 million of test tech in the DAO? And I was like, I cannot tell you. I will have to check it out. And Pablo and me were like on the
Whiteboard.
Paulo, yeah, stay muted. You can talk through SEMs. It might be easier, honestly.
Okay. So let's keep going on. So the commands upgrade, well, we had these parameters because we are going to change it, and the open date is going to be different. In the new height rehearsal, we will start do this different shape of the token blocking, in which we have a long period of tokens that cannot be moved, and then they start to be able to be moved in a linear way. So we will be able to test this, but by the way, it looks like the previous one worked very well. This is one of the to-dos that I have here to check out better, and then we had all the transactions that minted the test tech working well. Well, actually, we needed one extra transaction, and I have been checking out all the time where were the tokens that were missing, but it just needed one more transaction. Everything arrived as expected, except for the parameter that was missing. So basically, this is what I have for the reviewer tomorrow, and we will be checking all the contracts with all the data and everything. One of the interesting things is that in the rage quitting, there were 2 people that could not redeem because they previously had voted yes on the Dandelion voting, which prevents rage quitting. So it's another feature that has been tested. So yeah, this is basically what we have, and the new, actually the new one is already it has the odds already minted, and there is a little rounding error because the EH rate is a little bit, it has a lot of decimals, and we just lost 0.03 test tech in the way, but all the numbers are look correct. The cultural attribute is a little bit higher than the one that the Hedge dashboard is giving, but it's because the number of impact hours doesn't match with the ones in the Hedge dashboard. So that's it. For me, it looks that everything is working as expected, and tomorrow we will have a pair of eyes more. A couple of eggs more.
So we raised We raised about 2 million in that dress rehearsal, and the impact hour rate was $57. Cool.
Yes. Yes.
Very cool. Are you able to make this into a blog post? Specifically, this Hatch Rehearsal 3 recap?
Whatever you want. The other Hatch rehearsal could be a forum post. I was thinking on publishing it as a forum post.
Yeah, I would publish both of them as forum posts if it's easy. I mean, it's easy because they're markdown, right?
Yeah, totally.
They're beautiful documents. I would love an effort to get the names right on the Commons upgrade stuff, like Common Pool and stuff, Funding Pool, and Token Thaw, Token Freeze, and these sorts of things. I know they're not necessarily with the smart contracts, but make sure that we get people thinking in the right mindset.
Okay, I'd like to have some help with, if anybody in the call would like to check it out and help me. I'm already pressing Paulo and Griff for supporting in this document, bringing a lot of helpful insights and help with the numbers.
That's great.
If you need, I can help as well.
Not that I'm really invested in this community yet, but I'm happy to look through and take a look at some of this and add it.
Okay.
Do you know where the link is? Like, can you send?
I can send it.
Yeah, I can look as well.
Yeah, I can help too.
Nice.
I am sending it into Commons. Yeah, by the way, I think that from my side, it's everything that I wanted to share.
So, when does Adria come over? I missed the guy.
Well, actually, I wanted to work with him on Akasha, but because I don't know, probably he will come back soon. Either way, but the idea was to work on that on Akasha.
Today?
And
Tomorrow?
yes, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. I just sent him a message just to remind him. The point is that he was vaccinated from COVID and maybe he's not that good. If it's not tomorrow, it's going to be. Now we have more days. But
No. Friday's the deadline. We're hashing on Friday.
Yeah. Okay. No. The idea is that we met tomorrow morning.
Okay. With that idea in mind of Friday, so I assume the config dashboard call is going to be different than the call that you just mentioned, Sam, to create a gardens on Rinkeby. Yeah. Maybe I'm confused. How do we want to make sure that we can get this gardens created on Rinkeby this week?
Okay. The Pablo is leaving tomorrow, so I think that we should distribute the work between, because there is this gardens thing that needs to be fixed that we should also do this week, and at the same time to publish the TC gardens as it should be and upgrade. I think that we will need some coordination, because right now all this part is EVM scripter things that you are doing. How do we proceed with that?
I mean, we need to fix the garden subraf, because right now it's not tracking the new gardens that we are deploying. I think we need to make a fix for that. And regarding the EVM script, I mean, once we have the subgraph going and we have a gardens on Rinkeby, we can use the EVM script there to make a vote on the dandelion disputable voting. I mean, to make the upgrade. So I can take care of the subgraph issue if you want, and submit the fix. And once we have that, I think we can proceed with the AVM scripter, which is practically ready. So,
Okay, in the meantime,
Oh, sorry.
okay, in the meantime, I will be publishing the gardens with using the new template. Just I have to test the AVM scripter, so probably I can do the AVM script for that.
Yeah, the idea is to have it ready before tomorrow, and you can start testing it and start using it. So yeah. I have to go, guys, by the way. Sorry.
Okay, so more or less we have it quite planned. The idea is this week finish what we need to do inside gardens and have this first version of the upgrade script. And that's, let's see where we go until here. And next week we will upgrade about which has been the progress.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Do we need to schedule any calls in the meantime, or are we just going to work entirely independently?
I think that next week we can talk about this again and work
Okay.
asynchronously.
Sounds good. Okay.
Okay,
So
I think that
sounds like
these were the two things. Yeah, and by the way, we still have 10 minutes. Maybe there are some people who would like to. Should we use this last 10 minutes? Maybe the new people who is here.
introduce.
Yeah. Hi. I'll just go ahead and start talking. Name's Grad. I am in the U.S. and I was invited here, like I said at the beginning, from the Harvest community with one of your members, Monstrosity. I've got a PhD in econ, do industrial organization economics with minors in Austrian and antitrust. So just trying to get my feet wet, figure out where things are, and see if there's any place I can contribute.
Okay. During these weeks, we are going to be, let's say that the work in some way it's already very defined, but there are other stuff that are good issues that people can take. So maybe, which is your background? You can develop, for example, in JavaScript, or what are the skills that you would be more comfortable?
So, I mean, I've played in Python since I think it was 0.21 beta. So I've been doing that a lot, but I'm not a formal programmer. That's where, I might have a little bit of trouble and probably introduce more problems than you'd like. But in terms of being able to read code, being able to test code, happy to look through and also documentation, can certainly do that. As far as tokenomics, if there's anything that, or just general logic and especially from an econ perspective, obviously, I can also contribute there if there's any need.
It looks like you could be helping in the commons dashboard, but I am not sure. What do you think, Vitor? Do you need more help there, or
Yeah,
what
I
do you
think I think it's always good, like fresh eyes. I think this specifically now on the specs and the documents that you have, like for what should be each stage, and like to get sure that like on a fresher eye things are correct and make sense and something like that. What do you think, Griff?
Yeah, I mean, if you want
Because
to start by just DM me, let me know kind of where to
yeah,
start looking. I'm happy to dig
yeah.
in and ask questions.
Yeah, like we have some documents that explain like the basics and the like the option parameters that you can have for the hatch. So I think that might be a good start.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's an incredible amount of documentation that needs to be done. There's the Python work that Vitor is leading that maybe might be interesting. We have these 4-hour Sunday hack sessions that are just really fun. Like we maybe spend an hour syncing and then 3 hours just listening to music and the occasional like, oh hey,
Sure.
and then on tomorrow at 5 p.m. we have the parameters call. It's in the TEC channel, which I'll send you an invite to, and
Perfect.
and I think it sounds like with your skill set we could definitely use your support on that.
Okay. Happy to help where I can.
Nice.
Right. Well, that covers our agenda for the week. Any closing remarks, closing thoughts from anybody?
I'm just so like I sort of missed it. We are going to deploy a Gardens on Rinkeby and upgrade it to a Commons this week, or no? We're just going to deploy the Gardens to, but not upgrade it. I just missed
The
it.
idea, no. The idea is to at least have the gardens with all the functionalities of gardens and their new request token. And if that is possible to reach, because we don't know which is the state, but if we have that gardens, then we go with the commons upgrade and see how it goes. Yeah, that's the idea.
So we'll attempt to upgrade to Commons.
Yes.
At the very least.
Yes.
That sounds great. That sounds achievable. And, along with freezing the hatch, like it's in like telling everyone we're hatch ready.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Good to see you all, of course.